Another IM form a fairly unknown brand, but apparently it sounds quite good. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for EPZ K5 that right now with discount costs around $105. And thank you for EPZ for providing me with this review unit. And just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. By the way, this IM is using a single dynamic driver and 4 balancer armatures. So yeah, it's a 5-driver hybrid IM that costs $100. The housing itself is, well, it's made of resin, just like some usual chi-fis that I've seen out there. And you could see the tubing here. Fairly say it's a quite good build quality, but I love the cable. The cable itself feels really smooth and well built, so I just really like the cable. And you could also change the jack easily here. You got also 2.5 balance and also 4.4 balance cable. Even though they're using a 5-driver for its configuration, but apparently the size of the IM itself is fairly small, and I could wear them for hours without any complaint. It's essentially a really good fit for me. And also the cable itself, yeah, like I said, it's really nice, so I really like the fit. Now regarding the tonality of this IM, I could simply say that this IM falls into V-shaped vibrant category because it does have a good mid-bassy punch, and after that with a lot of upper mid and lower treble region energy that makes this IM sounds really vibrant. And somehow, at least for my playlist, I feel that this IM is more suited for rock and metal music because it has that fun energy to it, and also it has that kind of biteful upper mid-range and treble that somehow needed for rock and metal music. Starting from the bass area, this is a punchy bass, but it doesn't really go deep, so you don't really get a lot of sub-bass rumble here, but you do get that fast mid-bassy punch. So with this kind of bass, it is usually more recommended for music that needs a lot of speed for kick bass and a lot of fast in the lower region. So yeah, for me it's not really suitable for EDMs because I do feel like it's lacking some sub-bass depth on it, and it's not really for acoustic music because the mid bass is really energetic and it gives you that energy, but it will definitely feels good for me for metal music. It has that, yeah, simply it has that speed, but also keeping the good energy from the mid bass punch itself. Now going to the mid-range area, well, it's more favored for upper mid-range rather than lower mid-range, so it does have this forwardness for higher voices, especially for female vocal, or when the male vocals kind of scream, maybe using the upper region for their voice. So this IM is not really suited for a lot of thick male vocals. Let's say like Josh Groban or Michael Bolton. It feels somehow lacking some depth, some thickness, some meat on their vocal. But other than that, female vocals and rock music sounds forward. It has also that bite factor that makes music sounds fierce and interesting to hear. But on the other side, this kind of bite can give you a little bit of fatigue. So yeah, it depends on what kind of song that you're hearing and also your sensitivity level. But at least for my sensitivity level, because it has a forward upper mid-range accompanied with also a lower treble region forwardness, this I am simply said when I'm using them for a lot of times, it can be a little bit fatiguing because it has an aggressive vocal to lower mid region. For the higher frequency of this IM, it is somehow more focused on the lower and mid treble side, but it doesn't really go up there in the upper treble region. But in this treble region, lower and mid treble region, it has this kind of forwardness and also aggressiveness that does suit well with some electric guitars, especially giving you that bite sensation and that fierce factor to it. And also using this IM to hear some solo violin or solo piano does makes those kind of music sounds really vibrant and really energetic. So as an overall tonality, I don't say that this IM is a really all-rounder kind of type. For me, it lacks some lushness in the vocal region and some bass depth for me, but for certain kind of music, especially like rock, metal, and also some classical music that needs a lot of mid-range forwardness, that needs some kind of bite around the lower treble and upper mid-range region, this IM could serve those kind of genres really well. Another thing that is really great with this IM is its technical level, because it has a really good dynamics impact, so every note sounds really clear when you're hearing a busy tracks or a lot of music with a lot of elements in it. It all will sound clear and clearly separated. At least for me, I have ever tried some IM around $100 price point. For me, this level of technical resolution and impact is somehow really close to another one. IM like the Salnotes Dioko that is using planar driver. Yes, it really have a really good good resolution that it's match planar like a Dioko, but it doesn't have a really good soundstage width or depth, so it doesn't really feels like a three-dimensional presentation from this IM. It's just really good in impacts, detail, and resolution. Well, comparing them with one of my favorite IM around $100 is the Shure S12 that costs around $120 right now, so it's kind of cheap in planar world. And this is actually still one of my favorite planars ever. Well, comparing them both in terms of tonal, the Shure S12 has better sub-bass rumble, also somehow a little bit more subdued mid-range, but the mid-treble area is fairly also forward, just same like the EPZ K5, but the EPZ K5 somehow has more upper mid-range energy, so vocal sounds more forward with this EPZ K5 and also more aggressive. But that being said, the treble attack on the Shure S12, I still find it clearer and somehow a little bit aggressive. So the aggressiveness is kind of different. One is around its upper mid-range, but one is more about its mid-treble area, so it really depends on your sensitivity. But personally, I still prefer the Shure S12 better. But also in terms of technicality, I do feel that the Shure S12 has better soundstage presentation. It has more 3D presentation on it, and it's also because of that rumble, I feel that it just feels more immersive overall. So for plus $15 only, I still prefer the Shure S12. But if you are looking for something that is more fast in terms of bass speed, the EPZ K5 is somehow still better in terms of bass speed. Now, another IM that it's instantly became one of my favorite IM for $100 price point is this SIMGOT EM6L that costs around $110. So basically the difference in price point is only $5. The SIMGOT EM6L right now is cost $110, while this on discount $105, and they are both using a single dynamic driver and 4-band armature. And for me, when I tried a lot of my songs, I do feel that both of them has really similar level of details and impact, but the tonal is much more smoother, and I believe it is easier to accept for a lot of people in this SIMGOT EM6L. Like the sub bass is more present with the SIMGOT, and also it has much smoother treble area, making it easier to hear for a longer period of time without being fatigued. Well, if you ask me which one do I like the most, I still like the EM6L better, easier from this EPZ K5. But the EPZ K5 for me triumph over the EM6L when it comes to like a guitar bite or some vocalist from rock and metal music. It will sound more fierce and more attacking, and that's what I'm searching for those kind of music. So as an overall, I do think that this IM will not be an easy recommendation for a lot of people. First of all, it doesn't have a really good sub bass depth. It has fairly mid-bassy bass, but it has good attack and good speed. And the mid-range itself is also more forward in the upper mid-range and lower treble area, making it sounds kinda thin and aggressive. But this kind of music does suit some music, at least for my ears. It suits metal and rock music and some classical music that needs a lot of impact and attacks and some fierceness on that region. But other than that, it doesn't suit music like vocal or jazz music that maybe needs more body and also needs some smoothness in those regions. So that's all I could say about this amp. Overall, it's still good, but I don't think that this amp is for everyone. It's a little bit kind of niche. It's made for jump, or it's made for some genres. That's all I could say about this review. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.